Good evening, welcome to Metropole Sports Center. Well, this week on Metropole Sports Center, we are talking matters mentorship. And mentorship cuts across all kinds of sports. We have mentorship in basketball, mentorship in football, mentorship in rugby. I mean, all matters mentorship. But on today's edition of Metropole Sports Center, we are going to be talking mentorship in basketball. And in studio today, I have guests from Ball Life Africa who are going to shed more light on what they're doing, what their program is about, and how, if you're interested to joining Ball Life Africa, what you can do. So guys, welcome to Metropole Sports Center.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we'll probably start with Ball Life Africa. What is Ball Life Africa? What is the idea behind Ball Life Africa?
Okay, thank you for that question. I'm Daryll, Omondi, head of basketball operation in Ball Life Africa. And Ball Life Africa is a community-based organization that seeks to promote life skills, especially for youths and children from the age of 7 to 19 years old. Yeah. Okay.
So probably what inspired you to have that age bracket? I mean, I've realized you have already an established bracket. Maybe this is the time for you to jump in. I mean, why do you have a specific age bracket that you guys are focusing on?
My name is Letina.
Yes.
I'm Human Resource Associate. And we mainly focus on age bracket from 7 to 18, mainly because in Kenya, mostly sports like basketball is not usually, they don't usually
get the attention.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mostly they don't, basketball is not mainly focused in, they don't have the facilities. It's mostly soccer and other sports and athletics mostly. Okay. So we usually love to inculcate that in kids from that age bracket. Yeah.
So Daryll, does that mean that if somebody is over the age of 18, he cannot be part of Ball Life Africa?
No, it doesn't really mean, because you see, the other thing, just to add on what my colleague has said, that age bracket is so susceptible to the ills and the vices in the society. Okay. So at Ball Life, the main thing, in as much as we might be a basketball organization, the main thing is to foster good life skills and to make someone to be a better human being. So we feel that from 7 to 19, that's the best age to teach guys through basketball, the sport that they love, to become better human beings and help the society.
Yeah. Okay. So Brian, what are some of the challenges that you guys are facing? I mean, if you look at, as I think you've mentioned it earlier, I mean, if you look at Kenya or generally Africa in general, in terms of sports, there's only focus on rugby, football, I mean, other kinds of sports. So what are some of the challenges that you're facing, and what are you guys trying to do to ensure that basketball is getting that attention that it deserves?
Okay, for me, I'll speak for Ball Life mostly. First of all, basketball as a sport has been neglected, mainly. So you find that basketball is not taken keen, even to higher levels of the sport. And then also, to come lower in high schools and primaries, they don't have facilities. Most of the schools don't have the basketball courts or the balls or anything else. And also, into that matter, I would like to say that for Ball Life, we have problem, especially on funding. We need sponsors to jump in and to be able to assist us in funding us and in various ways.
Okay. Yeah. Daryll, how do you guys fund your programs? I mean, a couple of months back you had the Mayhem basketball game. How are you guys able to fund your programs and ensure that as you start, you do not stop? I mean, no sooner had you started than you stopped. Yeah. So what are you guys doing to?
So actually, funding has been one of our major challenges right now. And for Ball Life, the group of guys that we started, we're about 15 right now. And we are like giving our time and our resources from our personal pockets and something, hoping to impact more and attract more sponsors in here. So as at now, we are still struggling, and we are taking this time to ask guys out who can be willing to sponsor it and make our goal come true for the better of the community.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Brian, I managed to find time and attend the last tournament. I mean, there was a lot of teams drawn from Kenya and all over the country. So how is the reception this time round? We are going to talk about the upcoming tournament that you guys have this weekend. But I wanted to get your opinion on what was the reception like from other teams.
Especially for the first tournament, I'll say it was really good, because having that number for our first tournament, it was really awesome, and we were able to send the message out there that as much as we are doing this, we also also want to measure on to broaden the graph, to be able to be bigger. And for that number, for the first tournament, the reception was really good. Yeah, many teams were able to come from various forms of in their life, like in high schools, in universities, and also other teams from like churches, you know, and also freelance teams. So it was a very good experience for our first tournament, and we are willing to broaden the activity.
Okay. One thing that stood out for me in that tournament was there was this young girl who was writing on the board.
Oh,
That kid got my attention, because that shows that she's interested in Rachel. So Rachel, special shout out to you. You are doing a good job. Which is actually a good thing. So maybe you could take us through what the upcoming event you have. You have an event as Ball Life Africa this coming weekend. Maybe you'll shed more light on that.
Yeah, actually, this time we switched places. We are at Don Bosco Tume in Karen. The other time we was in Marist International University, and the tournament starts tomorrow, and it's aimed at telling more to the society about mental health, and how we can partner with guys from the mental health awareness team, so that we can create that we've been talking about physical health every time. If you're sick, you're going to the hospital, but it's really time that we talk about mental health. It's an issue. There's suicides that are being rampant in our society, and I think if we merge that with basketball, especially starting tomorrow, which the tournament will be tomorrow, I think it will be so good for our society, and guys can know how to manage different challenges.
Okay, so far, how many teams have confirmed attendance?
So far, 10 teams called today, but judging from the last tournament, the same number called, but at the end of the day, we had like 20 teams, and we expect that tomorrow. Yeah, and we've done a lot of marketing. We've done a lot of personal calling to various teams and team managers, and I think they'll respond. Thank you so much.
Okay. So probably as we conclude this interview, there's somebody who's probably watching the show and doesn't know how to reach you guys, and he's interested in being part of the tournament this past weekend. What can they do?
First of all, I'd like to say, if you want to come on board, you can come in various sectors. Like, you can volunteer, you can come as a sponsor, of which as a sponsor we have various packages. We have, if you go to our website, there's the gold packages, the silver package, the platinum package, of which you can be able to be part. As we're also in need of referees, and also, as much as we do clinics on our own, we usually do clinics, like in-house clinics for referees, for coaches and everything. If you want to come on board, you can come on board, and you can find us in Instagram, in Ball Life Africa. We also have a YouTube page, Ball Life Africa, and also you can contact us through our email, balllife@gmail.com. Ball Life Africa.
Okay. So finally, as we finish, I would probably like to get your opinion on an issue, a commentary on a subject. I mean, if you look at the basketball sphere in Kenya a couple of years back and now, what will be your gauge? I mean, how are we heading in the right direction Is there something that we're not doing right that we need to be doing or something like that?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Actually, considering basketball is the second most loved sport in the world, both in Africa and all over the world, and we really want that to be also in Kenya. That's after football. And basketball, especially this year, our national team, shout-outs to Moran, they've really done us proud. They're in the equivalent of the AFCON, so now in basketball it's called African. And they're playing finals tomorrow versus DRC, and I think that's a really good, a really good stage. And I think guys from the international stage are watching us, and that means good for our league. Scouts will be coming all over our leagues to see the talent that is managed here. And another thing to be excited about is, especially in Africa, and Kenya being a very key country in Africa, I think the next thing to be excited about is the NBA Africa game. For the first time, the NBA is organizing a league outside the United States, and it will comprise of 12 teams in Africa, and it's starting next year. So for Ball Life, we will be part of that, in that we'll try to build good athletes, especially from a younger age, who will become better citizens and better managers. And at that time, if they achieve, they become professionals or do anything with basketball, we'll really appreciate that. So we're really looking forward to that, and we thank God that we can tap into that opportunity.
Okay. Thank you so much, Daryll and Brian, for coming to the show. I'm sure if we start going, there's so many issues we still haven't talked about. There is the issue of the clinics, how they actually go. There's the issue of mental health, but you know, we are constrained by time. But I think we're going to find an opportunity to come to the tournament and get an in-depth look at how the tournament is, and get to understand what you guys are all about. So that is Daryll and Brian from Ball Life Africa. As I mentioned earlier, they're providing mentorship in basketball. Mentorship in basketball. And as they mentioned, their age is 7 to 18. But beyond 18, if you're interested to be part of this mentorship, I mean, mentorship will mean you will be part of the tournament as a referee, as a coach, or participating in the tournament itself. So we take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be looking at the events watch. Which event is happening this weekend, and where do you need to be? This is Metropole Sports Center.